Is live.
It is now.
Oh, we're live now. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday. It is 8:30. It is your weekly dose of Mauls, Balls, and all. You are more than welcome. Joining us this evening are familiar faces. We have Mike Reedy, we have Matt Boland, and we have Dara Weston. Gentlemen, are you all well in yourselves?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Grand, thanks.
Grand, thanks. Okay, fair enough. All right, good stuff. Excellent. Now, Mike Reedy, let's kick off the show. I sent a list. Hold on, let me just move a few bits around here, get them out of the way so I can get my pen. Mike Reedy, Aoife Wafer has decided to join Harlequins to
So
extend her career. And why not? I put up a post. Yeah, all right, Mike. Will you pay attention, please? Come on, wait for the question.
Okay, go
on. Stop interrupting. No. Okay. So she announced that she was joining Harlequins, and I put up a post saying that will we see her again in green. Now, apparently, the rules are not the same for the women as they are for the men. That if you play abroad, if you're a woman, if you play abroad for a women's team, you can still play for the Irish national squad, right? With the IRF, you still have that kind of privilege over you, I think. So I believe. So I was told. Now, going on that, her colleagues, Edel McMahon, Dorothy Wall, Neve Jones, and Cleena Maloney also play abroad. My question is, why? I think it's a bit sad, really, that Aoife Wafer deems or seems it necessary to move abroad to play for Harlequins when she won't get the money here in Ireland. Mike, is that another failing of the IRFU?
It's a failing. It's a failing of the IRFU. However, I think from what's been happening over the last few months, in particularly with Irish rugby, there could be the writing could be on the wall. There could be a bigger issue than we realise with finances. There has to be, because scrapping the sevens program, and now
we'll come on to that, Mike. We just stop jumping off the topic.
Now Aoife Wafer is having to leave. I think it's sad. It's sad for Leinster rugby, and that she's not going to be playing with them anymore. However, she's probably going to. She could maybe as much as even treble her salary, because I believe it's pretty derisory how much they get paid. Our women's players, you know, from like just. It's only 30 or 40 grand or something like that. Like comparative to the men's game, it's pretty measly, you know. And if you're living in Dublin, for instance, you're not going to be. There's no way you're going to be able to survive on that alone. You'll have to have another job to just survive. So,
no, I mean, you couldn't get your lattes and your avocado on toast and all that sort of stuff.
No, so I think she'll be heading to London and play for the Quins. And
what? She's going after the World Cup, Mike.
So it's after the World Cup, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's after the World Cup. She's going to Harlequins. Yeah.
You know, and I have to say, there's no way they can change the status just now of allowing the girls to play for Ireland that are away, because they've been cutting off their nose to spite their face. They haven't got the squad depth to come anywhere near being able to do that. And I don't think to be right either, because you could drive the girls. I mean, you literally drive them out of the Irish international game if you were to take that stance. So I don't see that ever happening. And it's working, you know. As you just mentioned, four girls that are already playing in England and playing for Ireland, and it's working. So best of luck to Aoife Wafer. She's an absolutely fabulous player, and she is.
But Mike, the flip side of this, and I'll ask you, Matt, and Dara. The flip side of this, though, is that people will say, well, the standard of rugby, of women's rugby in England is higher.
Yeah, it is.
So that will increase her skill level, Aoife Wafer's skill level, along with the others, Adele, Dorothy, Neve, and Cleena. their
Now,
skill
all
level.
four of us had outstanding performances in the Six Nations. So that maybe tells its own story as well. Now, in fairness, I think most of the Irish girls had. I thought Aoife Dalton was absolutely unbelievably good, and like there was a few. The young girl on the wing.
Costigan.
She got
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Matt. Come on. You said it there, did you?
Amy Lee Costigan. Is that who
That's
you're
the
talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
that's the lady. Yeah, fantastic players. As we have a good Irish women's team right now, and anything that's going to enhance their performance going forward is only going to be good for Ireland.
All right. Okay. We let you burp up that beans on toast you had there, Mike. Matt Boland, Aoife Wafer going to Harlequins after the Rugby World Cup. There's two sides to this. One is that it's kind of sad that the IRFU can't pay the wages that to keep them here, but also that there is a higher level of rugby in the UK because they went professional 10 years ago, whatever the hell it was, which bodes well for Aoife Wafer and Adele, Dorothy Wall, Niamh Jones, and Clean Maloney coming back here if they're playing in a professional environment. But as I said to Mike, are the IRFU not failing in their remit to look after the women and pay them what they're worth?
Well, absolutely, because like they failed by not making it professional when they should have. You know, they failed on a numerous occasions in the women's game when there wasn't dressing room facilities put up for them, and they had to change in car parks and all this sort of fucking nonsense that shouldn't be going on at that level of sport anyway. The wages that the girls are given is pathetic if you look in the comparison of what the men are getting, you know. And as Mike said, like they can't live and pay rents in Dublin and pay their bills on that kind of money. And for them to go to the UK, first of all, they're going to get more money. Second of all, they're going to be playing higher level rugby. They'll probably increase their own skill sets, their own knowledge of the game. They'll have more experience playing with girls that are being professional for 10, however many years, as you said. That's all invaluable. And if you're saying the IRFU are failing, then yeah, they are, you know. And as Mike alluded to, like maybe there's a bigger picture here. Maybe there's something deeper going on within the IRFU and they're trying to make cuts now. But they're not paying the girls enough, you know. And the fact that most of them already playing in the UK and some are already leaving now to go to the UK is just highlighting that point.
Yeah. Dara Weston, your thoughts on all this?
I mean, I think there's two factors in this. The first thing is there is no actual rule that says players playing abroad can't play for Ireland. It's an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
They have changed it before for Johnny Sexton. We do have Irish women's players who are abroad who get selected for the Irish squad. So it's not kind of it's basically they retain the right. Obviously, the IRFU want to keep their talent, their Irish talent in Ireland, in the provinces. However, that brings a problem. So the men's provinces are in the Pro 14. For the women's provinces, there's no such competition. They just play each other. So they're in a pool of 4 teams. The Premiership in the UK, the Women's Premiership, I think has 9 or 10 teams in it. So immediately, if you go over to the UK, you're going to get twice as many games, if not more. So, I mean, you know, is there a need for a similar kind of Pro 14 type thing for women's rugby? To give the girls in the Irish provinces more matches to play.
Is that not what they've done this year? The Clovers and the Wolfhounds. They played like teams from Scotland and teams from Wales,
Yeah, but I think that's been at has that not been at a national level?
No, no,
Oh, was that
no.
at a provincial level they played? Okay,
They
but
played,
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
because the Clovers were the Clovers were Munster and Connacht, and the Wolfhounds.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. Like, if you go on the Leinster Leinster Rugby website and you look at the women's competition, the fixtures are Ulster, Connacht, Munster.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
maybe they play them again, maybe a second time. So, I mean, and like Premiership rugby at the moment, I mean, you're playing Ilona Mar, okay, she's a bronze medalist for the USA in the sevens, but she's like the most followed rugby player in the world on social medias, be it male or female.
And she's
So,
good. And she's good. She's
oh,
good.
exactly, and she's good. So, like, I mean, obviously, that kind of exposure is bringing massive attention to the women's Premiership over in the UK. So, look, I think you can't blame her for wanting to go and get actually more match experience.
absolutely. Yeah.
And in a way, it's good for the Irish squad as well to have our players getting more experience. Now, obviously, the IRFU being like they're also the owners of the provinces, so they want to make sure they don't lose everybody from the provinces. But I'm sure they kind of retain the right to call people back from the UK to play international for Ireland if needs be.
Yeah, I have my own thoughts on the way the IRFU are running things at the moment, which, well, I won't go into. Anyway, before we move on, just a few comments coming in, gentlemen. Alan Dorman hello, Alan. How are you? Are you
Evening,
are
Alan.
you are you still in Lanzarote, Alan? Megan Augusta, evening, gents. Evening, Megan. Always
Evening,
good to have
Megan.
you with us. Gregor
Mrs.
Galway.
Timoney, how are you?
Mrs.
Timoney.
Timoney.
Yeah, Mrs. Timoney, yes. Evening all. Some good French rugby on YouTube. Yeah, okay. I believe
Gregor.
this is Catherine Keegan. Hello, Catherine. Evening, gents. Evening all. Hello.
Hello, Catherine.
Megan Augusta. It's all down to money. I understand why EFA chose to do this. The men play rugby as their career. The women, however, in the past, I have heard some of them have jobs outside of rugby. It's a disgrace of the IRFU. Yes, Megan, you are quite correct. They do have jobs outside of rugby, which they need. Christopher Goff, meow pa Christopher. Good evening, all. Hello, Christopher. How are you?
Hey, Christopher.
Gregor Galway, think if Wafer goes to England, we can learn her skills positive for Irish rugby, I think. Yeah, good point, Gregor. Yeah, good point. Let me see. Gregor again. Surely they need to expand Ireland women's game. Yeah, don't get that's a whole different show, Gregor. Megan Augusta, yeah, not enough women's rugby played here. I get why going to England to their premiership would appeal to women. It would benefit us in the future, I would say. Yes, absolutely. Christopher Goff is saying hello to Megan. You can take that offline, gentlemen and ladies. Megan Augusta, law. Okay, right, there we go. Get a room. Okay, gentlemen, we shall move on from that. I just wanted to bring that up because it was current. Now, this kind of surprised me. Well, I kind of didn't. David Nucifora, this whole sevens debacle is not going away anytime soon. David Nucifora came out and he said, and there's one damning bit in this, right? Dara, I want to come to you first on this, and we go around the other way. David Nucifora came out and he said, the IRFU cancelling the men's sevens project, whatever you want to call it. He said it was short-sighted nonsense, right? But he also said that the excuse that the IRFU gave was fabricated reasons for cancelling the men's sevens. Now that would imply. It would imply, I'm not saying it is, it would imply, allegedly, don't cancel me, allegedly, that the IRFU were lying about their figures and their reasoning for them cancelling the sevens. If Nucifora comes out and says, fabricated reasons, that's what he will say, that's what he said. I'm quoting him on Off the Ball. Dara.
Right. So I'm trying to see, do I have any salt anywhere to take a pinch of it?
Is your wife is your wife standing by recording this in case?
No. It's more just I would take what Nucifora said with a pinch of salt. He's basically saying,
I don't know.
Well, no, he's only just left, and Humphreys replaced him. And like what was exactly he saying on Off the Ball, the most reputable fucking rugby podcast there is out there? Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, like we went through the figures last week. The figures are published. So, I mean, I don't know if they came out and said they're going to save a specific amount by getting rid of the sevens. It was easy, low-hanging fruit. Obviously, they couldn't go near the women's sevens because, as Matt said earlier, the women's teams have been treated fairly shabbily by the IRFU over the years. And basically, they need to make amends and they need to put a serious investment into the women's game to bring it forward.
I think, Dara. Sorry, Dara. Hold on.
Yeah.
I think one of the things Nucifora had an issue with was that
Right.
the IRFU said that the sevens games, the sevens team or whatever it was, cost the IRFU 1.35 million for the Olympics. I think it was. I could be wrong on that. I don't know.
Probably, yeah, possibly could have.
Now that was shot down.
Right.
Because it didn't cost the IRFU 1.35 million. It cost the IRFU 450,000.
Yeah, but then add on an extra 800,000 for the Blazers to fly over to Paris and stay in the Ritz during the Olympics.
But there is,
and that's how you get to 1.3 million.
No, but their sponsors paid 600,000. There was who else was it?
But anyway. What I'm saying is, if Blazers from the IRFU went over to the Olympics, they're not flying Ryanair and they're not staying in the Ibis hotel out 20 miles outside Paris. They're flying over and they're staying in a nice hotel. Then I mean, obviously, so like Olympic years do skew the figures. Because obviously your expenses go up in the year to the Olympics. Because obviously you're gonna have more you're gonna be training more frequently, so you're gonna have more expenses around that. You're gonna need more masseurs, physios, that kind of stuff. More scans and tests on all the players. Everything's going to increase because of the Olympics, and it doesn't make a great deal of a difference whether the Olympics are on your doorstep or they're the other side of the world. Because
it's not 1.35 fucking million, Dara. When the IRFU cost to them was 400,000. This is where Nucifora was coming from.
Right. Well, last year the cost of the entire sevens, we covered it last week when I had the IRFU report open, and it was I think 4.2 for both men's and women's sevens. So it could well have been 1.3. Okay, they got 4.3 million in grants. But that didn't all go to the sevens. Some of that went to the national squad, the women's squad, the academies. It doesn't all just go to the Olympic squad, the sevens Olympics squad.
But why then would Nucifora say for fabricated reasons?
Did Nucifora quit or was he pushed? Was his contract not renewed or did he quit to go to Scotland?
Don't go down that road now.
No, but I mean, genuinely.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I think his contract expired.
His contract expired, so it wasn't renewed.
I think.
Or maybe perhaps he wasn't offered a renewal. So
allegedly.
No, I said perhaps. That covers us all. Okay. I'm married to a lawyer. I know this shit.
I know.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So perhaps he wasn't offered a new contract. I don't know. Like, Off the Ball tends to bring out the shite in people when they're talking, especially.
And we don't.
Oh Jesus, we're not as bad as Jerry Gilroy. Like, we actually know about rugby. Fucking all
stop!
four
No,
of us.
Stop slagging off the ball because they watch this.
Well, all four of us have played rugby, so we actually know a bit more about it.
we know a bit about it. Yeah.
Look, I would say if he's they're not going to have him on if he comes on and says, look, I think it was the right decision now. Times are tough. Cash is, we're were cash strapped. And just to stop Mike there, he was going off earlier on. Mike, the IRFU are not in a financial crisis. Fucking relax there, okay? Don't be getting your knickers in a twist over this. I read their accounts from last year. They have a few quid in the bank. They're grand.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear. I'm pleased to hear that.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Okay. So go on, Darren, finish your point.
I haven't heard what Nucifora said. From what you were saying to me, he said that the figures were fabricated. Well, I don't.
No. Fabricated reasons.
Fabricated reasons. Yes. Okay, so he's saying that but I wasn't aware that the IRFU, like, they didn't give that much of a reason for axing the sevens. Only that
they did. They said it was costing too much money and it wasn't commercially viable, and that's what the IRFU.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. To save money, that was essentially their reason.
Yes.
But the whole thing behind that, then, my kind of thoughts last week were, well, if you have the whole infrastructure for a sevens game, so, you know, you have coaches, you have physios, you have backroom staff, you have training, you have sprint and conditioning, all that kind of stuff, and you get rid of one of your two teams, there's still going to be a lot of overlap that you still require for the other team remaining. So I don't know. I don't think it was as simple as it cost 4 million, get rid of the men's team, they save half. So,
all right.
But look, yeah, do I agree with the reason they gave? No. When they're making 90 million a year in revenue, 4 million for two sevens teams that go off and represent us at the Olympics and around the world, it's not a great thing. I'd be more inclined to blame World Rugby for cutting the HSBC series from what was 16 teams now down to 8. They cut it from 16 to 12 and now 12 to 8.
Our friend Justin Fitzpatrick wrote a very good article about that. It's on the Ruck This.
Well, he's like me. He's intelligent. He thinks through these things.
Well, there you go. He does indeed. All right. Okay. Thanks, Dara.
Okay, Dara. Okay.
Very, very comprehensive. Matt Boland, your thoughts on what Nucifora said, and I tend to agree with him that the reasons he was basically, from what he said, as I said to Dara, and my opening question.
You didn't tell me what he said. Don't be going on.
No, wait, hold on. Will you hold the fuck on? Will you? What I said was not Dara, Nucifora basically implied that the IRFU were lying, allegedly, for their reasoning for cancelling the sevens with his fabricated reasons. He said that, fabricated reasons that the IRFU did for cancelling the sevens. What do you think, Matt, of this whole fucking debacle?
Well, firstly, there's never smoke without fire. So whatever Nucifora has said or allegedly said, he's obviously reading that from something that he knows personally himself. And what the IRFU are saying and what David Nucifora is saying, somewhere in the middle is the actual truth, and we'll never know. So is he justified in what you're saying? Probably, because he has his reasons and he has his information. None of us agree with it, obviously, because I don't personally think that they're in financial difficulty, and I really don't think that cutting a sevens program that only costs 1.4 million a year is really that much in the grand scheme of things in a saving. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways that they can save money in the IRFU, and by axing the sevens is not one, because we all know there's a lot of players that come through that sevens protocol when they can't make it in the 15s, or they go off and they like sevens or whatever, and then they come to 15s later on. For me, it's baffling for me. I wouldn't have. I've watched all the stories, Harry McNulty and Terry Kennedy and all the lads with their reasons on why it was cancelled, and they're all obviously angry and upset, and that's
as they should be, Matt.
Of course, as they should be. And I think in general, the general public and rugby fans are all the same, because they're of the same mind and opinions. That it's good to have that, because it's another thing in the Olympics where we could actually win a couple of medals from, because like we're not really that good in the Olympics anyway. Like, bar the runners that we had over the last few years and last
And the
year,
swimmers, and the
and
swimmers,
swimmers.
And the
But there's
boxers.
nothing
and the
really
boxers.
boxers. Yeah, well, like I mean, fighting and running, they're the things we're good at, But
And
like,
riding, horse riding.
horse riding. I'm glad you
Boxers and runners, Matt. It's a typical
glad you put in the
night.
horse.
It's a typical night in Tala. Boxers and
Yeah,
runners.
but you know what I mean. Like, so, like what?
Would you be
what
slagging off your
Nusafora said-
neighbours?
What Nusafora has said, he's obviously like he's worked in the IRFU very closely. He's seen what's gone on in the background. He clearly knows something that the rest of us don't know. So, he's probably right in a way. I couldn't tell you.
But if it was the case though, Matt, that Nusafora was bang on with his analysis, saying the IRFU completely made up these reasons for cancelling the sevens, that would be a damning indictment of the IRFU.
Oh, listen, that's like that money was resting in my account for a few years. It's that type of fucking shady shit that goes on that people don't want to be hearing about, but like it goes on everywhere. It's not just the IRFU, and I really hope that's not the case. I really hope fucking John Delaney didn't leave the FAI and is now working in the fucking IRFU. Like,
oh God, jeez, could you imagine? All right, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Sarah.
Just say one thing though,
and
I just remembered it there. Let's not forget now. Nusafora is like, he was specifically named when the women's team wrote a letter in 2021 saying how shabbily they were being treated by the union. He was specifically called out. So, he's not without his own problems. During his time in the IRFU.
We're not talking about that, Dara. We're not talking.
No. But I'm just saying why he might be trying to have a sly dig,
I know, but Dara, before I go on to you, Mike, Dara, if Nusafora was still in charge, the sevens would still be in existence.
Well, possibly, but Nusafora.
I'd say so.
But he was in charge up to the Olympics. So basically, they're only like they haven't actually played any games. Well, they played a couple of games since Humphreys took over from him. So then was the damage done under him?
I don't think so. Anyway.
I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying I don't think he's any angel.
I know. No, I know what you mean. Mike Reedy, your thoughts on all this? Go on. I'm not going to talk back the question. You know the question.
First of all, if he made a statement and he's basically slandering the IRFU, they are now almost compelled to make some kind of statement to either counteract what he said, rubbish what he said, or fucking they're going to have to make some kind of statement because he has. It is a pretty strong indictment to come out and make such a claim.
He's basically Mike said the IRFU are lying about their reasoning for cancelling the sevens.
That's strong.
Peter. He's saying that they might be giving less than the full truth. Yeah.
Okay. We go with that. Go on.
Mike,
go on.
Like Nusafora said one thing, the RFU said one thing, and somewhere in between is going to be what actually happened. But the cancelling of the sevens program, there's more to it again. The fact that the entire program has been cut from 16 teams to 12 teams and now 8 teams. Were Ireland going to be part of those 8 teams? Probably not. The way we've played since the Olympics, we probably wouldn't have been included in those 8 teams. So maybe
we would have had to. It's 8 teams for every tournament, so we would have had to pre-qualify for every tournament, basically.
Yeah.
Same as
we've hardly won a match since the Olympics in either men's or women's, which is sad. And we've played quite a few. There's been 2 or 3 tournaments, Hong Kong and South
Dubai
Africa
and Cape Town.
Yeah. So like we've played a few tournaments and we've won no games, so it's not good. And maybe the writing was on the wall, lads. So I don't know. I don't know what Nusafora said, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not even interested in what he said. His tenure at the head of Irish rugby isn't squeaky clean either. It's not. It's not without. It's not without.
No, I don't want to go into Nucifor's record.
No. I know.
I'm just talking about what he
it's
said.
what he just said. A bit of sour grapes or a bit of let's get a dig in here, because if it's not, if there is substance to what he said, the IRFU are almost compelled to come out and respond to that. And whether they do or not, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, he said, Mike, he said, and I quote,
He's called them liars.
No, I know, but I also quote another the initial thing that I said to Dara and to Matt. He also said it was short-sighted nonsense.
Well, I'm not in a position to dispute that or to agree with it. I don't know whether it's short-sighted or what was. I don't agree with him getting rid of it, because it is a pathway. There's absolutely no doubt about it. It's a pathway to 15s rugby. People who mightn't be. I mean, the contact level of 15s rugby is substantial in comparison to sevens rugby, and it's more suitable to some players who don't like that level of contact. And you've basically pulled the carpet out from under their feet now. There's no pathway for them to ever be involved in rugby.
Well, hold on, gentlemen. Let me just. Sorry, Mike. Just 1 second. Just occurred to me, right? I could name you the women, but the men. How many men? I can think of Hugo Keenan. How many men's sevens graduated to 15s?
Well, Ward.
Zach Ward.
Zach Ward.
Yeah. Okay. Go on. Anyone else?
There's another.
There is another. Is there another Ulster, in fact?
Yeah.
Did Balakoon come through the sevens?
Balakoon played sevens, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it's a totally different game. It is a totally different game.
Of course it is. But it seems to be more successful on the women's side of things, because we all know the women who came from the women's sevens into the 15s. So
yeah, but as we discussed last week, sevens is a vital pathway for the women's 15s game.
It is, without doubt.
Because look at the men's 15s. It's dominated by the academies. Yeah. And the academies are fed by the schools. The women's game doesn't have schools feeding academies.
Yeah, true. That's a very good point.
It's more at a university level that girls get into rugby, and then they get through to clubs, etc.
Yeah. Very good point, Dara. Okay, a few comments coming in. Gregor Galway, thank you for explaining that.
Jimmy O'Brien came through the sevens as well.
Oh, yeah.
You just Googled that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, I knew that.
I did.
Shane Daly too.
Shane Daly, yeah. Okay.
Google is your friend, Matt. Gregor
Actually,
Galway.
I should probably plug my cousin's son, James Dillon. He played for the Irish Sevens, and no doubt he would have got to the Ireland 15s at some stage. I think he's at Trinity at the moment.
You're beginning to sound like somebody we know now, Dara. They're talking about cousins and.
No, my cousin's son.
Say nothing.
My cousin's son. No.
We want
Mike Reedy, behave yourself. Gregor Galway, apart from... Sorry, go on, Matt. What?
Peter Burke doesn't want to talk about his cousins.
No, I don't. Well, actually, no, I do have a cousin, but he doesn't share the same surname. Gregor Galway, apart from... Shut up, Matt, will you? Gregor Galway.
You go down and stand outside the IRFU and find out exactly why they closed the sevens.
Do exactly like your cousin does.
And get the sevens lads there to stand beside you looking for their jobs back.
I have no cousins. I have no cousins with my same
we
surname.
We all know you're related to Enoch. You were homeschooled.
I'm not.
As well.
My cousin's surname is Brady. I don't have any cousins with the Burke surname. Gregor Galway, apart from this one, of course, we podcast. I think, Gregor, you're talking about Off the Ball that we were slagging. Okay. Finan Burke. Hi, Finan.
About our podcast, our new podcast that Matt the Baker has put on a Spotify.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean. Finan Burke, did any of you watch Harry McNulty's YouTube on this? He had a very detailed commentary about the WHO situation, even going as far as breaking down the finances, and the IRFU will be saving net €450,000. I think we mentioned that, Finan, just there in the conversation. But yes, I did see that, Finan.
I think
saw.
everybody's done that. Anybody that's interested in rugby at the moment has seen that.
I saw that. It's what's his tagline? McNuts
McNuts.
on Instagram. Yeah. Gregor Galway had a
We
quick.
should issue an open invitation if he's watching for him to come on. Have a chat.
I sent him a message, Dara. A few days ago. Expect Mike Rant, Megan Augusta. Okay. All right.
Easy,
Okay,
no,
gentlemen.
easy.
All right. Moving on from that, I think we've covered that now. Geez, we might even be on time this evening. You never know, gentlemen.
Then you say in
I
it.
doubt it.
Dara Weston. Okay, moving on. We finished with that one. Peter O'Mahony, Sam Kane, Conor Murray are due to play for the Barbarians against South Africa. That would be a great send-off for the two Munster men, won't it?
It will. Where's Cian Healy's invite?
I don't know.
Most
Sorry, I'm
capped
trying to-
Irish player. He
I
can't
know,
even
I'm
get a Baba's invite.
No, maybe he didn't.
And yeah,
didn't-
Conor Murray
but-
can take time between his laser hair removal sessions to play. You know.
No.
Well, no, he advertises the company, so he must use the.
That's
service.
right. He does. He
You know.
did actually. He did. Yeah. He did.
And I can understand why Murray's playing because Murray has openly said he wants another year and he wants to try and get to France.
No, Japan, isn't it?
He's
So-
going.
no?
Or is it
Is
Japan?
Murray not
Well,
going to-
anywhere I think that'll take him.
Well,
I don't
if he
think
goes
he's
to
anything
Japan-
lined up yet, but I think he's doing like strings. He wants to keep going.
Yeah, but I think it's a good enough send off
Oh,
for them
yeah,
to play.
look at-
They're Barbarians with Sam Kane and all that crew.
That could be interesting, by the way.
Yeah, go on, Mike. Give us your thoughts on that. The
Well, I
lads
think
playing
it
for the
could be an
Barbarians.
interesting there after what Peter O'Mahony said about Sam Kane at the World Cup. You're a poor man's fucking Richie McCoy.
It wasn't at the World Cup. It was the fucking tour down in New Zealand. Might get it right, will you?
Oh, the tour down in New Zealand. Right, sorry, I apologise. So that could be interesting. When
You'll
they
be
come
more
to play.
polite to your elders there.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Go on,
Yeah,
Mike. A good send off.
I think it's a nice. I think it's a nice thing, and they're going to play in South Africa, lads. There's no love lost there between any Irish rugby player and South Africa, so they'll want to go out there and give an account to themselves again and smash a few Safas or whatever.
All right, okay, fair enough. Matt Bold, your thoughts on this? I think it's good enough. Send
Look,
off for them.
the whole thing on the Barbarians is class because like it's the ritual and the ethos of the whole Baba squad, like, and the fact that they play in their school rugby socks or their club socks or whatever they want to play in, like it's class. And when they do play and get together, and it's quality players like the likes of Peter O'Mahony and Conor Murray and Sam Kane, and giving them a send off to play one last big competitive game. And look, a game like that will always be fucking nitty gritty, and they'll want to fucking beat South Africa. And I think the last time the Barbarians played South Africa was 31-all, by the way. But look, you know, as what fucking Peter O'Mahony said to Sam Kane, like, shit is said on fucking rugby pitches all the time.
You should never fucking leave the rugby pitch.
It probably fucking, most of the time, it probably fucking doesn't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of a match, they go off and they shake hands. They probably have a laugh in the fucking changing rooms, having a beer after, going, haha, I fucking said that, but I didn't mean it. Of course I didn't. Heat of the moment, fucking shite. I played a rugby match years ago, and I'm not going to tell you the club I was playing. One of the lads said to me, I'm going to meet you in the car park.
St. Michael's.
Shut up. He said to me on the pitch, I'm going to see you in the car park and I'm going to fucking stab you. So,
Oofed.
yeah.
Oh, so it's St. Paul's.
I'm going to fucking stab you.
Came off the pitch and at
Oh.
the end of the match, and he goes, Jesus, I'm sorry. I got away. Just a bit fucking, got a bit overzealous there now, you know.
Was this in the car park? You said this to you?
Well, coming off the fucking pitch, you twat.
Did he say what he was going to stab you with? Because it could be taken, two very different ways there, Matt. You know?
Well, he wasn't in my
You
fucking
could be
changing
talking
room.
about a rock boy there.
He was,
Giggity,
no,
giggity.
it definitely wasn't. It wasn't any upstanding area of Dublin. It was a
school in
newish-
Raheny, a school in Raheny, Matt.
You'll,
Right?
ne-
We get it.
you'll
We
never
get it.
guess it. I'm never going to fucking tell you what it is, who they are anyway. So
St.
Temple
Paul's
Old.
don't have a
Well
club. We
done.
don't have a club. We only have a school team, Peter.
anyway,
Clontarf.
my point is,
Area.
shit is said on a pitch all the fucking time. You think
Yeah.
people fucking hold on to shit like that? I doubt it, because they probably have a fucking beer afterwards at the fucking post-match fucking dinner, black tie event, and have a laugh, and it's fucking forgotten about.
Listen, though, Peter O'Mahony is a different beast now. Peter O'Mahony spends at least 70% of his time on grass. If he's not on the pitch training or playing, he's at home mowing his own grass or actually just walking around looking at it.
His mum apparently is not.
So,
going to do it.
that's it. So, if for him to slag somebody while on grass, actually, is a big thing.
Right. Go on there, sorry.
The one thing I would say about the Babas are always good. They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of rugby. You see, I can remember some great games where we see the Fijians, playing with Irish lads and English lads and French lads. It's just brilliant rugby. And it's designed to be really, the way we always say, home team are entertaining the other team. Well, when the Babas play, they do try and entertain the crowd. They go for... It's not just kind of like boring kind of kicking game or anything. They really run the ball. The only thing is it's kind of wedged a bit. It's wedged between. I hope it doesn't kind of go under the radar, because it's wedged between the Lions game in Dublin and then the first game in Australia.
Yeah.
So because it's like at the end of June.
It's the 28th or something, is it? Or
yeah. So the Lions game in Dublin is the week before, and then
the 20th.
The first match in Australia is the week after. I think it's like the 2nd of July or something to July. So so I hope it gets the attention it deserves, because it's kind of wedged in there in the middle.
Okay. All right. Before we move on, let me just see. Gregor Galway says Andrew Smith. I don't know what that's in relation to.
It must be another
Sevens.
Another sevens.
Yeah, he's
I
sevens.
right. Okay.
Went to Connacht.
Megan Augusta, stop triggering poor Peter. Megan,
the chance to trigger Peter is the only reason most of us agree to appear on a Thursday evening on this show, and obviously to talk to our lovely audience.
There you go. Mike Sheedy, Conway, Ulster, great player, 7th rugby man of the match, lots of games. Yeah.
There you go. See, there's fucking loads of them.
Yeah.
I know, but the point was that off the top of your head, you could name maybe one or two men who came through the sevens, but you could name 5 or 6 women.
There's obviously more than we realise.
Yeah. Gregor Galway again. Everyone wants to play for the Babas. They're like you just said that, Darryl.
You just skip over Gregor's comment about Cian Healy's invite must be in the post.
Yeah. And Gregor Galway has said there, Cian Healy, his invite must be in the post. Yes. Okay.
Healy might have
right, Dara Weston. All right, Dara Weston.
I'm just standing up for the Northsiders here,
Actually, just before you move on there, Peter,
go on.
Claire Devaney, because she can't appear on tonight's show, has asked that we give a shout out to Holly Davidson for becoming or getting the nod to officiate the final of the Challenge Cup.
Where did she send that?
On our group. So a shout out to Holly Davidson for getting the fucking final.
Well deserved. She's one of the best friends out there. She's if she keeps going the way she's going, she'll be like Nigel Owens level.
Sorry, I just saw Claire's message there now. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good point, Claire. Yes. And well done, Matt, for highlighting that. Yes.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Editor-in-Chief.
Oh, fuck off. Right. Okay.
Is it not influencer-in-chief?
No, Mike.
That'd be nice, or Megan will give out to you.
Mike, now stop. Now.
Uh-oh.
Okay, one topic that deserves the last 15 minutes of our show tonight, gentlemen. Surprisingly,
European final this weekend.
No, that's our last one. Sorry, this starts our penultimate. Right?
Yeah, no, but there's not much.
One thing that surprised me: Willie John McBride jumped on this train. Stephen Jones jumped on this train. About the criticism of the players, the line starters, that they weren't homegrown. And I think there was an awful lot of information that Stephen Jones and Willie John McBride failed to understand with the Scottish team, with the English team, uh, to a lesser extent the Welsh team. But he was basically two of them. Stephen Jones less credence to, but Willie John McBride, I was more surprised at that.
I thought Willie John McBride came out in favour of, in defence of the lads playing.
No, he was critical that the homegrown players were not picked. And from what I can tell, right now, James Lowe came out with this statement. I'm sure you've all seen it. Dara, I'll come to you first on this. James Lowe, and I quote James Lowe, "We've all done our time. I'm fully embedded in the culture of Ireland. Everyone's got a different story. My story didn't start in Ireland, but I can see it ending in Ireland. I don't think you are going to get rid of us any time soon." That was James Lowe on the criticism of foreign-born players being selected for the Lions. Dara Weston, I think, I just think this is pathetic by the critics. What do you think?
Mike Catt played for the Lions, didn't he? The South African Mike Catt, who then played for England. I don't remember there being a massive fuss about that.
Dylan Hartley.
Yeah, it's amazing. What was the South African guy who used to play hooker for England? Was it Stevens or something?
Dylan Hartley, a Kiwi.
No, but there was a South African guy who played hooker. Was it Matt Stevens or something like that? And he actually, he went to school and everything in South Africa and then moved to the UK and then became an English player. These guys have come over here. They've served their time playing domestic rugby, club rugby. Then they've qualified to be internationals and they have all become Irish citizens. Mac Hansen, it really fucking boils my piss when people start talking about Mac Hansen. Mac Hansen's mum is Irish. So the minute he was born, he was entitled to an Irish passport because his mother is Irish. So he is Irish. He's had the passport from when he was a kid, even though he was living in Australia. They only moved over a year or two before he was born, I think he said in an interview. But yeah, look, I can see Willie John's point. Look, Willie John's coming from the old amateur era. It was a tough slog to get up and you get in. And he doesn't, he'd be the same as Mike. He doesn't like to see these mercenary lads coming over. But these lads aren't mercenaries. They've come over, they've played. I think why Lowe is getting a bit of attention is because he'll be one of the few players to have played against the Lions. Yeah. Because he played 6 times for the Maori All Blacks, including against Munster. When they beat Munster. And he scored a try in that. But he never played for New Zealand. So the Maori All Blacks is different because that's an invitational side. It's not a national side. It's kind of,
like the Wolfhounds.
I don't want to say ceremonial, but it's an invitational side.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So it's not a full international side. The All Blacks are the full international side in New Zealand. So obviously, that's an easy story for Stephen. Even the likes of Stephen Jones can write a story about that. He can go, how can somebody play against the Lions and then play for the Lions? Well, we'll sit down and explain it to you, Stephen. Because he didn't play at an international level.
You can't explain to stupid.
Well, no. Well, you can. But they drag you down to their level and they beat you with experience. That's the problem. But the thing is, these lads have come over, himself, Gibson Park, they've come over here, they've served their time playing club rugby, not getting international rugby. And Bundy. Then after the years, they've qualified. Bundy as well. And Bundy, they've qualified, they've started playing internationally, and they've gotten citizenship. So they're not foreign players, they're Irish players with Irish passports.
And it only changed, it only changed, Dara, 4 years ago in 2001. From the residency rule from 3 to 5 years. So they were all in there before that.
Yeah. But I mean, as I say, there's a lot of criticism coming out of the English press, which just really annoys me. The whole thing that we talked about last week about, is there a need for the Lions game in Dublin? Well, if there wasn't a need for it in Dublin, then there certainly wasn't a need for it when it was in fucking Twickenham or Cardiff or Glasgow. Edinburgh. You know, there was no furore when Mike Catt played against played for the Lions, even though he was born in South Africa. So, you know, there's a double standard in the British press, where if Ireland have
No
something,
way.
and yeah, no, I genuinely believe there is. Now, you know, if anybody's willing to give me a grant to do further research into this, I'll definitely dig into it a bit further. But you know, it's just making out. Now, you know, look, you can see where Willie John is coming from. He's kind of like, look, in his day, it was all lads, and there was Welsh lads, and there was English lads, Irish lads. But every team, the Welsh are foreign-born players as well. Fucking, how many Scots are going, and how many of them were actually born in Scotland?
About 40% of them were not born in Scotland.
Yeah. So that's it. Like, I mean, we have we have 15 lads going, of which 3 of them weren't born in Ireland, but are Irish.
3 is it? Yeah, I think 3 is it. Yeah.
3.
Bundy, Gibson Park, Mac Hansen.
Low.
4.
And Lowe. Sorry, 4.
And
but
Lowe,
Mac
4.
Hansen, even though he was born abroad, he was an Irish citizen.
Yeah.
He's always been an Irish citizen because his mom is Irish. So it wasn't like a granddad rule or anything like that. So
you could say the same about Jamie Heaslip. You could say the same about
Jamie Heaslip was born in Israel while his dad was on United Nations.
Ron O'Gara.
He was born in San Diego.
Yeah. The redheaded. Jesus Christ, I can't even think of his name now. The Leinster redheaded out half fullback.
Kieran Frawley.
Frawley. Yeah.
So,
he's not. He wasn't born in Ireland anyway.
Born in New Zealand or Australia or somewhere.
One of those.
Right.
Yeah, right, Mike. Yeah.
Oh, he's from. I know he's out in Rush, but Rush or Portrane or Donabate or Skerry. Sorry, he plays rugby for Skerry. He came through the club system. But look, I mean, it's look, I think it's just fucking hullabaloo, and I think I don't think Willie John meant to be I don't think he was being mean about the players and saying they don't really deserve it. I think it was just, with with benefit and age and stuff like that.
Old school
lads getting a crack. Yeah.
Okay. Matt Boland,
and he'd like to see a good fucking fight on the pitch as well. A good 99 shout.
All right. Okay. Matt Boland, your thoughts on thanks, Darren. Matt Boland, your thoughts on all this? The foreign-born players going on the Lions tour, not representing their home country, blah, blah, and so on and so on.
Load of fucking bollocks. And I expect it from fucking Stephen Jones, because he's the biggest prick of a journalist going around. He's
Get off the fence, man.
He's a fucking arsehole. And, there's nothing he says contributes positively to anything. I expect more from Willie John, to be fair, but I kind of understand all the old school fucking nonsense. But look, it's not 1950s anymore. It's a fucking new Ireland. There's lots of fucking foreign people that have come into this country that have switched and changed their lives around, have become Irish citizens, or having Irish children, are competing in fucking Irish sports, are playing fucking Gaelic, are playing football, they're playing fucking rugby, they're going to the fucking Olympics. Fuck off. Just fuck off, because it's actually a lot of bollocks, and it really fucking pisses me off. These lads came over, they fucking did their time, they fucking played for Leinster or whoever through their residency, got fucking residency, are now Irish fucking citizens, all Irish, hold Irish passports, and are playing for Ireland. They left because they thought they might get better opportunities over here. And yet they fucking did. James Lowe, fucking perfect example. He wasn't getting a new contract in fucking Chiefs. He decided he was going to go. He came, got fucking onto the Leinster side, did fucking 3 years, got onto the Ireland squad, and now says he wants to stay here and finish his life out here in fucking Ireland. It's the same with Bundy Aki. Just fucking stop this fucking shite. These people are only fucking racists, and that's all they are. They're racists in everything they fucking do and say, and they just pick up on the smallest fucking things and go off on fucking tangents. And that piece that the James Lowe is the first person to play against the fucking Lions, and now he's playing for the Lions, it's all stemmed from that. If that hadn't come out in the media, none of this would have fucking happened, I guarantee you.
All right. Okay.
And it's been driven by Munster people because he scored against Munster when they beat them.
Oh, shut up, you.
All right. Okay, Mike. Before I come to you, Una
Like,
McGowan.
it's fucking 2025. Like,
Here you
I
go,
know.
Darryl,
I
look.
know. God.
oh Jesus, he's taking his jacket off.
Yeah, man boobs, and everything. Una McGowan.
Listen,
Willie
he paid
John-
good money for those while they were doing his hip. He got them done as well.
That's true. Una McGowan. Hello, Una. How are you?
Hello, Una.
Willie John is totally old school. When he spoke at Paddy Jackson, is just a lad who should be allowed to play for Ulster. I stopped listening to him. I wouldn't blame you now if he said that.
He's of that generation where
There you go. He's
there's
that
no
generation.
filter.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Okay, Mike Reedy, your thoughts on this? Now, I know it. Look, it's borderline mercenary stuff for you with this, but it's not really.
No, there's listen.
No.
Very
Will you listen to me? It's borderline mercenary for you, but it's not really, because I know what you're going to say. If people come over and play for the country, that's fair enough. But I know your definition of a mercenary. So go ahead, Mike. Go on.
100%. There's no grey areas for me in this at all. Those lads, like everybody else has said, have come and served their time and done what the requirements were to change nationality and play for Ireland. Listen, this isn't exclusive to Ireland. This is the whole fucking annoying thing about it. It's the opportunity is there for every nation of the world to do to avail of what Ireland and Scotland have done. And back when those lads did decide, Irish rugby wasn't in such a strong position as it is now. And maybe if it was now, we wouldn't require to have these lads to come in and play. But they did, and they've excelled, and they've changed their nationality. They've done whatever is required. Bottom line is, they're not breaking any rules, any laws of the game or of the sport.
They're Irish citizens, though.
Of course they are.
Mike.
Of course they are. But
as Dara said, they're Irish citizens.
For them to play, for them to have played for Ireland, started playing for Ireland, they didn't do it. They didn't come in and try and go in the fucking back door and sneak in. They did it through the proper channels and the legitimate. They become legitimate citizens of the respective nations. I'm very disappointed Willie John McBride coming out with that fucking nonsense. I'm sorry, Willie John. I have 100% respect for you as a general of rugby, but that's very, very. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else from Stephen Jones. He's a violent.
I would like to think, Mike, that Willie John is not as media savvy as the players are now.
No, he probably isn't. No,
and that reporters can kind of put words in his mouth.
Maybe he's a bit
maybe
and
so.
get him to kind of, would you not agree with this, Willie, now? And he might go, yeah. Like, you would like to think that there's no malice or in it.
I think I would refer us all back to what Una McGowan said, that Willie John is totally old school. I think Una's quite right.
It's in fairness, what Una said, that's kind of the GAA attitude. If we look at the amount of GAA lads who've been up in court and the coaches and all that come and say a few words on their behalf and stuff like that. So, but like I can guarantee you that Willie John will be cheering on the Lions, and he'll be just as happy if Vandermeer or if Lowe score as if anybody else scores.
Of course. Okay, gentlemen.
From a personal perspective, I don't live in Ireland, and I would like to have thought that if my children were good enough to be playing any sport or to represent, would have had the opportunity to represent Ireland, and would have become Irish. Well, they have Irish passports anyway, but they have them just because obviously they're parent. But
they have an Irish dad. So
yeah, I know. Yeah. But that's. I mean, people are questioning Mac Hanson's right to be representing Ireland or to be representing the Lions. I would like to have thought that if the opportunity arose, that my children would have had those opportunities, and you can't take those away from people. Like they all served their apprenticeship, by the way, to play for the respective nations, and
of course.
Tony Cascarino played for the Irish international men's team for I think it was 8 years.
who
on the
cares?
basis of a grandfather.
And apparently he was abroad.
It didn't exist, and he never got an Irish passport.
Yeah, I don't care. Roundy ball, go away. Sonia Croak, xenophobic twats. Sadly, paper never refuses ink, even from so-called
100%.
Thanks, Sonia. Good to have you with us, Sonia. Mike Sheedy, lads, you're doing the same thing, government, for red cards. Ha ha ha. I don't really get that. Okay, thanks, Mike. Johan, of course, Irish citizens should be able to play for British and Irish Lions. No discussion, no argument. Well, it's been discussed and argued about, Johan, because it's in the.
But that's the kind of common sense. That's the kind of common sense we have in Clontarf.
Yeah, but you know what the reason for all this? Do you know what all this stems from? It stems from success. If you had fucking 15 foreign nationals playing for your national team and they were winning feck all, nobody care. As soon as you start winning something, opinion.
Oh yeah. It's the same. Look at it's the same with Italy. As soon as Italy started winning matches in the last 2 or 3 years, then people started giving it. Oh, sure, they're all South Africans and Kiwis, and they had an Irish lad with one eye playing for them. And all. I mean, Jesus, they're a developing nation. They need some bit of a dig out. But the lads were all living there and playing there domestically, and then representing the country.
Lads, I'll just tell you this one thing, right? I'll name one team for all this fucking birthright stuff. Japan. All right? And then we'll just leave it there.
Do you know I'll name another team for you?
Go on.
The All Blacks. Jerry Collins wasn't born. One of the most famous All Blacks. He wasn't born in New Zealand.
No, but hold on. But the Japan now are bringing in a quota.
Oh, yeah. But
9 of their players.
If we just want to talk about this historically, like
I don't really want to.
No, but one of the biggest things during the All Blacks' height was they would take from all the Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
England have done it for fucking
and because the lads knew they would make a fortune playing for the All Blacks, they'd make a pittance playing for Tonga, Samoa, Fiji.
Yeah, of course, because they didn't have the money, so they all got the South Islands.
I mean, the All Blacks almost started this.
They're doing it for years.
England did it. The Bunny Polas, fucking Tuilagi.
Yeah, like going back to Mike Catt, as I said.
Scotland. Look, listen, lads. They're all every fucking team is at it, right?
Well,
every team is at it.
Irish fella, Kieran, something who they took, who they nicked from Ireland. There was an Irish player who they nicked to go over. Kieran Bracken. Yeah.
Kieran Bracken.
Oh, there's a scrum half for England.
Yeah, scrum half.
Yeah.
Hold on. Just before we go on to our last one, Ian Gilbert, where's I was born in a hospital, but I'll never be qualified as a doctor.
Ian, you were born in a maternity hospital, even better. Giggity.
Fucking brilliant.
Right, gentlemen. I don't think these are in the order of their happening. I just wrote them down quickly before we come on. Win, lose, or draw, gentlemen. Dara Weston, come to you first. Games coming up. Leinster v Scarlets.
Are you not doing the Challenge Cup?
Are you not doing the European Cup first? Because that's next weekend.
This weekend.
European Cup is this weekend. Scarlets is the 31st of May because I'm going to the US that day, so I'll miss the game.
They're playing Leon tomorrow in the Challenge Cup final. Fucking hell.
Who's saying what?
You're talking about games not this weekend, but the following weekend. Would you not do the Challenge Cup and the European Cup first?
Well, go on, give me them then. Okay, Northampton v Bordeaux. No, I was looking at the rugby app, and this is what they gave me. I must have read the dates wrong, obviously.
It's bad for
you were looking at the URC app, I'd say, was it?
It was, yeah.
By URC. Yeah.
So, but I didn't even look at the dates. Sorry.
The URC, the European Cup is.
Oh, URC. I don't fucking know. All right, go on. Jesus Christ, for overtime. Go on, Northampton versus Bordeaux, Dara.
Bath versus Leon first tomorrow.
You give fucking paracetamol a headache.
Or Bath, whatever.
Bath. I think Bath.
Tomorrow.
We have to go for Bath. Matt. I think. Yeah, really? I think definitely Bath against Leon, and I would say Greg or your Finn to get man of the match. Definitely.
Ooh, okay, right.
Now that's what you get for fucking up your
semantic
orders, isn't it?
Short for.
I didn't even look at the fucking dates. Go on, the Heineken Cup final.
Heineken Cup final. Do you know, I actually, I know we were beaten by Northampton, and would there be some element of whatever? No, I'd love to see Bordeaux win it. I think actually they have used some great performances.
Okay. But but Northampton played there against, who was it there recently, and your man Pollock was anonymous.
Yeah, load of Pollocks.
Jack Willis, or what was Jack Willis? Tony outplayed him. Who was that? Saracens, was it, or who was it?
Jack Willis.
I don't follow those Mickey Mouse competitions like the Premiership.
No, it was a good game, and Pollock was completely outclassed.
It's a good game if neither of the clubs go bankrupt during it. That's about all the good games you get. That's the bar for a good game in the Premiership. Nobody went bankrupt.
Okay. Right, go on, Matt. Challenge Cup and then the Heineken Cup.
Well, look, Leon are no slouches. Let's just put that fucking to bed straight away.
Yeah, but Bath Finn Russell, Matt. Come on.
Would you shut up with the Finn Russell fucking...
I'm telling you, that's going to be a fucking closer than you think, you know. And
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to go fucking Leon just for fucking shits and giggles.
Where's the game? Is it in Cardiff as well?
In Cardiff.
Yeah, they're always in the same venue, Mike.
Yeah, Cardiff, yeah. Okay, Matt, Heineken Cup final, Northampton versus Bordeaux, Begley.
That's going to be a cracker of a game, I can tell you. I don't know. I think that's going to be a very close game. I think Northampton have the ability to beat Bordeaux. Bordeaux have really been really impressive in the top 14. And because my old mate Joey Carberry is playing for Bordeaux, I'm going to fucking say Bordeaux.
Be the first time a Munster man has lifted a medal, a winner's medal in Jesus, how many years?
Exactly.
Don't know.
A lot less fucking years than Leinster.
No, I'm talking about European medal.
Yeah, well,
European, Mike.
You didn't stipulate.
Go on, Mike Reedy, Challenge Cup, Bath v Leon.
Challenge Cup, Bath.
Good man, Mike. Good man.
You go for Bath?
Yeah.
All right. And the Heineken Cup?
The Heineken Cup, I think fucking Bordeaux will hammer them. Because I do not think they'll be able to.
They'll hammer them?
Yes, I don't think they'll be able to fucking cope with the pace of Billy Barry and fucking
Jesus Christ.
And
Billy Barry.
Yale Barry.
Billy fucking Barry is good enough for me.
He's going to be using a routine he used in the late toy show last year to go up the wing.
Tap dancing away.
And don't forget that there's a fucking Clare man is the head coach of.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. All right, okay, that's brilliant, Mike. Thanks.
Moving swiftly.
Johan,
them so with a Clare man involved.
Jeez, Peter.
Right, Sheedy will be getting all excited. He called him a fucking Mayo man last week.
Apparently, I've out fucking Matt tonight. Okay,
I doubt it.
I don't think so either. I'd watch that.
No, you fucking haven't.
No, you fucking.
Hi, Sheedy. No URC this weekend. Only Europe champ. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mike. My mistake. I read the dates wrong on that. Sonia Crow glasses. Bath and Bordeaux for me too. Yeah, I don't know about Bordeaux, Sonia. I think Northampton might have a bit too much.
No chance.
Sorry, Bordeaux.
Okay,
we'll lose in fairly spectacular fashion.
Yeah, okay.
Billy Barry is going to fucking absolutely run amok.
Megan Augusta, Billy Barry.
Megan just said
that's his new name now.
Billy Barry, yeah. We'll change it in the chat group now to Billy Barry. And final comment, because we're way over time. Megan Augusta, Arno, ex-Munster players playing at 8. Okay, don't know what that means. All right. Okay, ladies and...
Munster player called Arno playing at 8.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have time for. Our thanks, collective thanks, to all you for watching and your contributions, your text messages, your comments. Thank you very much. Also, my thanks to 3 of the people who help run the background scenes in the group. They are, you know them all. They are Mike Reedy, they are Matt Boland, and they are Dara Weston. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Sorry, Peter, if we could just ask everyone who's watching, if you could, Matt put a lot of effort into this, and we don't want to see Matt cry now. So if you could all go on to Spotify, search for Mauls, Balls and all. Matt's been diligently putting the episodes up there. Tonight's episode will be up at some stage. Go on to Spotify, search for Mauls, Balls and all, and if you can subscribe to it, please.
And download.
And download it. And then
yeah.
if you can put a rating, obviously lash in 5 stars. Don't, be thinking of giving it 3 or something, because Bert can be a bit boring sometimes. Focus on the rest of us who make it entertaining.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Matt,
Well,
for your.
you bet me to it. I was going to do it very well.
Oh, leave Burke
As
alone.
always.
He's all right. They're just picking on
I
you.
get it.
Get off that
Mike,
fucking fence, Reedy.
Mike, works a bollocks.
I get it daily. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Right, Matt. Yes, thank you for your Spotify efforts. As I've said to you privately, yes, thank you. All right, gentlemen.
Yes,
listen,
Matt,
enjoy
thank
the rest of your evening, and thanks again. And we'll do it all again next week. Enjoy.
Okay, guys.
All right?
All the best. Have a
Good night,
great
God
night.
bless, lads.